हरे राम राम राम। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरतुसे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we welcome everyone for today's discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And today we are discussing from chapter 2 and verse number 16. So yesterday we began this verse, number 16. Nasato vidyate bhavo, na abhavo vidyate sataha. Ubhayorapi drishto antas tvanayostattvadarshibhi. So in this verse, Krishna is saying, those who are seers of the truth have concluded that of the non-existence, that means this material body, or anything in connection with material body, like material activities, material relationships, material ambitions, material goals, material success, material aims, objects, everything. Uh, everything comes in this category of asata. So those who are seers of the truth, that means tattvadarshibhi, those who are actually in knowledge, those who are actually in true knowledge, those who can see things as they are. So they have concluded like this. This is their conclusion that of the non-existence, that means anything pertaining to this material world, material body, material things, there is no endurance. There is no endurance. No endurance means it has no value at all. Why? Because everything is temporary. It's going to get finished. Whatever you do, whatever material activity, material you whatever material things you acquire, everything is going to get finished. It's just like very simple example. If you go near a beach, seashore, and generally kids when they go near a beach, they make various kinds of shapes, uh, various kinds of houses and toys and all these things they make, and in this way they spend their 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. They just constantly do all these uh, things. But what happens at the end? As soon as one wave comes and everything is finished, and that is for sure. Does it matter how much effort you put and how much beautiful house you make uh, uh, near the seashore? This is a destiny. This is destiny. After some time, the wave will come and it will finish everything. So what is the use? It's simply a waste of time. You may say, no, we get entertainment, enjoyment. No, you don't get enjoyment. It's an illusion that we are getting enjoyment because of the lack of true activities to be performed. A person thinks that when I'm performing material activities, although it is going to get finished over the period of time, but at least for the time being, I'm getting some enjoyment. But what kind of enjoyment? It's just simply a very insignificant, inferior quality enjoyment, which is not going to satisfy ourselves. Otherwise, if material things, material enjoyment, material activities can satisfy us, can give us even temporary enjoyment, temporary satisfaction, then why are people suffering in this world? Why are there in so much anxiety and stress? Why there are so many these suicides are happening? The more one is advancing in material civilization, the more one is advancing technologically, the more one is becoming modern, so-called modern, and advancement materially. the more he is getting frustrated in life. And this is, we are not saying that, this is fact. If you take the facts and figures from last 20, 25 years, 30 years, when this new era came, technological advancement and the discoveries, these mobile phones, Android phones, computer, laptops, this internet technology came. So in this period, the more number of suicides happened, the more number of divorce cases happened, the more number of frustration cases, and the cases of madness happened, and the more number of criminal activities have been reported. So why, if material activities can give us even some temporary entertainment and enjoyment, then why these things are happening? This proves that actually there is no one cannot get any tangible happiness. Temporary, very illusory kind of happiness for just for the time being, one may get it, but actually that is also not the case. That is also just an illusion. That is also just an illusion, because when the opportunity for enjoyment comes, immediately one starts fearing to lose it. And when actually he's enjoying at that time also, he is unable to fully utilize the opportunity. That's why Krishna is saying here that there is no endurance at all. There is no endurance, because before the material enjoyment, one has to struggle a lot, and during the material enjoyment, still one remains dissatisfied, and after material enjoyment, still there is frustration, stress, and the desires to enjoy materially more increases. So in this way, those who are seers of truth, they have concluded like this, that the material body and material activities pertaining to this material body, there is no value to it. There is no value at all. It is not. There is no endurance. And of the eternal, the soul, there is no change. That means the soul or the eternal things are permanent asset to us. Whatever spiritual acts you do, just like right now you are sharing that discourse on Bhagavad Gita, you are hearing Bhagavad Gita class. So this much, uh, whatever you have done, so this is your permanent asset. It is not going to get vanished or finished. It may happen, you may not get immediately the result. You may not feel like, yes, I am, by attending classes on Bhagavad Gita or by chanting Hare Krishna, I am immediately getting some kind of relief. Uh, that also is the case. If somebody is very serious, and if he just very attentively and with all seriousness, if he reads Bhagavad Gita or hears Bhagavad Gita, then immediately he gets relieved of so much anxiety. That potential is there. And similarly, if one chants Hare Krishna Mahamantra, immediately there is change. One can experience it, one can realize it. But even if one does not get immediate benefit out of spiritual activities, still there is no loss. Still he is in gain. He is gaining something valuable. That is his permanent asset. And that is what Krishna is saying, that of the eternal soul, there is no change. It remains as it is. Whatever devotional service, devotional activities you may perform in this life, even after leaving this material body, present body, that will remain as it is with you. But whatever material activities you may perform in this world, as soon as you leave this present body, after death, everything is finished. Suppose a person may get a, BTech, MTech, PhD, doctorate degree, all the degrees he has, and he earns lot of money, and he makes a big empire, this big factory, big business he set up he makes. So, but as soon as he leaves the body, everything is finished. Now again, when he takes a new birth, he cannot claim anything. No degree, no wealth, no name, fame, no property. He cannot claim. He has to start from scratch, from zero. He has to again start everything. And there is no guarantee that one will get a human birth again. If somebody is not utilizing the purpose of human form of life, he is sure to get animal birth. because this human form of life has been given to us to work for the benefit of our eternal self, for the benefit of our eternal self, that is spirit soul. That is why this human birth has been gifted to us. But if one does not utilizes this opportunity to become God conscious, fully Krishna conscious, then he has wasted his human form of life. Then material nature will say, why you should take human birth again? If you are interested only in the activities of hawks, cats, and dogs, then better you take a body of a dog and act like a dog. It's a nonsense thing to accept the body of a human being and act like a dog. This is disrespect to human form of life. And all over the world at present, so much material advancement has happened, and it has only created all over the world hawks, dogs, and cats, camel, and asses. This is the only business. That's why Srila Prabhupada used to say this modern education system, school, colleges, universities, who do not teach the principles of religion, principles of God consciousness. They are these organizations are like slaughterhouses, because it kills the spiritual life of a human being, the spiritual life of human being, and it produces a first class animal. First class animal means sophisticated animal. The symptom of an animal is that the animal is only concerned for eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. आहार निद्रा भय मैथुनम च सामान्यम एतत् पशुभिः नराणाम् धर्मो हि तेषामधिको विशेषो धर्मे न पशुभिः समाना. So these four things: ahar, eating; ahar nidra, sleeping; ahar nidra bhay means security, defense, acquiring wealth, name, fame, money, and all the facilities to save ourselves, to protect ourselves, to make us situate in this world comfortably, to make our body comfortable in this material existence. So whatever efforts are done to make ourselves, not ourselves, but to make this body comfortable in this world, that is actually defending. Ahar nidra bhay, that is in the category of bhay. And Maithunam, sex life. So these four things are done by animals. This is samanyam etat pashubhi naranam. Animals and human beings have these four common activities. So it's not that human beings are not allowed to perform these four common activities. Human beings can perform these four activities. This is a necessity of this human form of body also. Any material body has these four necessities: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. But animals can do only this much. These four things they can only do this much. They cannot think beyond it. Only eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. But a human being have been awarded an extra higher intelligence, a developed intelligence, by which he can inquire, he can ask, who am I? Why am I suffering in this material world? Now, although all the facilities are there and everyone is trying very hard to free themselves from miseries of this material existence, but still, why the suffering are again and again coming to us, and it is being forced upon us. Not just it's coming on our way, but it is forced upon us. We do not want. Nobody wants to suffer. Nobody likes anxiety, depression, stress, disease, old age. Everyone wants to remain healthy forever. Everyone wants to look very beautiful and handsome always. But over the period of time, doesn't matter how much diet plan you follow, how much exercise you do, how much you go and spend a lot of money in beauty parlor, and how much you go and perform all the gym activities. Uh, Inevitably, this material body is going to get perished over the period of time. It may take 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years at most. But over the period of time, you will not remain beautiful. You will not remain healthy. You will not remain young as right now you are. After 20, 50, 20, 20, 25, 30 years, one must become old. One must acquire some kind of diseases. One must become ugly. And one must uh, become, he cannot remain healthy forever. So this is a very harsh reality of this material world. That's why the duty of a human being is to inquire why I am forced to become old, why I am forced to suffer in this material world. I do not want to suffer. I do not want diseases. I do not want to become old. I want to remain healthy, beautiful, and young looking always. But why? Why these things? Animals cannot ask this question. So human beings can ask this question. So that is why the duty of a human being is to find out the solution. What is the solution? How can I remain young forever? How can I become completely free from all the diseases? How can I stop death? How can I stop birth? These four real problems have been explained in Bhagavad Gita. Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshanu Darshi. How can I stop all these four problems? Then actually human form of life begins. So any human being who does not utilize this opportunity to inquire about these problems of life and to get the solution and to work on the solution, he is no better than an animal. So surely enough, in this next birth, as soon as he leaves his present material body, he is going to get the body of an animal, just suitable for his business, just suitable for his desires to fulfill. Suppose if somebody is so much entangled in eating all kinds of nasty things, then the material nature will give him the body of a hog. That you better take a body of a pig and eat all kinds of nasty things without restriction, no disease at all. You eat stool in on the street, so no disease, nothing. Very happily you eat. Material nature mercifully, material nature will give. And somebody who is very much inclined to have sex, uh, so much inclination to enjoy is sense gratification, then the material nature will give the body of a dog. You become a dog, no restriction at all. No restriction in dog, you become a dog, monkey, all these kinds of bodies. Similarly, all these 84 lakh species of life have been designed for living entities who may have a particular inclination to enjoy in this material world. And once one gets entangled in any of these species of life, then he has to, that particular living entity has to wait for another many millions and trillions of years to come again to the stage of human birth, again to get a human form of life. And in that human form of life, it is not guaranteed that he may again get the proper association. He may get birth in African jungle. Uh, if you become, suppose somebody becomes a human being in African jungle, it is as good as like animal. If you get birth in some countries like this where there is no religious functions, no teachings of spirituality, then it is finished. And even if somebody who has passed credit, if he gets the human birth in heavenly planets, he becomes a demigod. That is also a great loss, because in heavenly planets there is so much sense enjoyment that even if he wants to execute this devotional service to Krishna, he will be unable to do it, because lots of opportunity for sense enjoyment, and there is no restriction also. One can go on unlimitedly, enjoy sense gratification without limitation of body and without restriction from the society. On our earthly planet, there is restriction. One cannot enjoy sense gratification unrestrictedly. One cannot drink alcohol unrestrictedly, and one cannot have illicit sex unlimitedly. There is restriction, and that is very nice, because in that way, when one is restricted, then he can focus on something else. He can focus on spiritual life. But suppose if you go to a place where there is no restriction at all, everyone is promoting, okay, you eat, enjoy, and you drink alcohol, you have illicit sex, no restriction at all. And that is what is happening nowadays in some of the countries, American, European countries. They have no restrictions. So that's why it's very difficult for them to take to Krishna consciousness. It's very easy to become Krishna conscious in India. Indians have a natural inclination to become Krishna consciousness because of many reasons. But other Americans and Europeans, their body is also designed in such a way that they may go on doing sense gratification without getting their body without getting much affected. Similarly, in the heavenly planets, uh, their body does not get uh, diseased, and there is no restriction. They have full capacity to enjoy sense gratification. In this way, they remain entangled for many millions of years with it in constant anxiety, because the more one enjoys in this material world, the more one the desire for enjoyment increases. That's what the example has been given in the Bhagavatam. It's like a fire. Uh, if you put petrol on the fire, what will happen? The fire will increase. Similarly, one who fulfills the desires for sense gratification, the fire for the fire of desire of sense gratification increases more and more, and it becomes very difficult to extinguish it. And the more the fire increases, the more there is burning sensation within the heart. So much so that one starts feeling the burning sensation even over his body also. Just imagine the burning sensation of the desire for material sense gratification is within the heart, within the mind, but it affects so much that it sometimes it even comes over the skin also. And just like Arjuna in the first chapter, Arjuna was experiencing too much material attachment, and because of excessive material attachment for his relatives and friends, she started feeling burning sensation over his body also. There were perspiration over his body, tears were gliding down from his eyes, and his fever was increasing. And Brahmatim Chamemana, his mind was reeling. He was unable to decide what to do, what not to do. So that is the situation of a person who becomes engaged unrestrictedly in the matter of sense gratification. And that is what happens in the heavenly planets. So what is the use? One gets just one just gets stuck up there. That's why in the Bhagavatam 5th canto, these demigods, they repent over their pious credits. They condemned their pious activities. Why we did these pious activities? Because of which we got these heavenly bodies. We got these heavenly planets. And now even if we want to get out of it, we are unable to get out of it. We desire to get birth in Bharatvarsh, holy Bharatvarsh, so that there we can practice Krishna consciousness. Here we know, here we know that we should chant Hare Krishna, but as soon as we take the bead bag, we chant Hare Krishna, immediately in front of us some Apsara comes. Uh, and the Apsara starts dancing. And there's no restriction, no social restriction. So one can go on with the enjoyment. So one cannot actually practice pure form of Krishna consciousness in heavenly planets also. And in the hellish planet, there is so much suffering that there is no consciousness that he can even think about that I should chant Hare Krishna. Only on the earthly planets, and that too in the holy land of Bharatvarsha, who have got this human form of life in India, Indian body, and specifically those who are in this following the Sanatan Dharma, they are very, very fortunate. And among all those kinds of followers of Sanatan Dharma, those who are getting the opportunity to meet a genuine, bona fide spiritual master, a 100% pure spiritual master, who can impart us proper knowledge, instructions on principles of devotional service, like Srila Prabhupada. So they are very, very fortunate. That's why Srila Prabhupada said, those who come and join in this Krishna consciousness movement, they are very fortunate. But those who come and those who neglect, those who do not come, do not accept this Krishna consciousness movement, they are very unfortunate. But those who come and join, and after that they leave, they are the most unfortunate people in this world, because they had the good fortune of getting associated with devotees, and because of their previous fortune, previous some pious activities or some pious credit, they became favorable also. They accepted that, okay, Krishna is the Supreme Lord and teachings of Bhagavad Gita is perfect, and I should control my mind and senses, and I should execute devotional service. But because of unable to control their material desires, material attachments, if somebody who has become so fortunate, if somebody leaves the association of devotees and again goes back to fulfillment of material attachment, material desires, then such a person is known as the most unfortunate person. Srila Prabhupada said like this. So So right now we have become very fortunate. So we should not become the most unfortunate. Rather, we should take full advantage of this Krishna consciousness movement, and very patiently, very nicely, we should understand the subject matter of Bhagavad Gita. And while remaining in this material world, while doing all our material activities which are required for us to do, if we, just for the maintenance of our present birth, present family life, we can do it. There's no harm in this. One can be a student, one can remain a householder, one can remain a job person, businessman, a doctor, engineer, whatever you may be. You can do it, but just change the consciousness, change the mentality, change the consciousness of being an animal to a being a human. Being human, one should change the consciousness from animal to a human being. Human being means he does not aspire for just for the gratification of his senses. Rather, he controls his mind and senses, and he performs those transcendental divine austerities for the purification of his existence, purification of his heart. And that is what is the sum and substance of this particular verse. Lord Krishna is saying that nasato vidyate bhavo, anything material, anything in relation with this material body, material activities and gratification, it has no value. And on the other hand, na abhavo vidyate sataha. Sataha means spiritual activities, Krishna conscious activities, and devotional service to Krishna. There is no change. Na abhavo vidyate sataha. It's not that it has any abhav. Abhav means that it's not that it has any less value. That means it is very, very valuable. One must very with full concentration, with full deliberation, with full contemplation, one should think over it and decide that no more entanglement in this business of sense gratification. I must try my best to control my mind and senses and become fixed up in the execution of devotional service to Krishna. And if I'm unable to do it, if somehow or other I'm feeling weak, then we should take the help from devotees and take the help from the Supreme Lord Krishna and equip ourselves with spiritual strength so that we may be able to properly control our mind and senses and not get deviated anywhere and everywhere, and just focus upon whatever our material business is, which is required for the upkeep of this material body. And our main focus should be how we can improve our chanting, how we can improve our devotional service to Krishna, how we can improve our attachment, how we can increase our attachment for the Supreme Lord. In this way, become liberated. So this is what is being explained in this particular verse. Krishna has explained. So we'll read the purport tomorrow and discuss more about it. So the time is getting over. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, you can ask. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Yes, Jitesh bro.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, धन्यवाद प्रणाम।
Hare
सॉरी
Krishna.
मैं आजकल ज़्यादा रेगुलरली अटेंड नहीं कर पा रहा, ये धूप के कारण तबीयत ज़्यादा बिगड़ जाती है।
Oh.
और प्रभु जी मैं आपको एक कॉल करना चाहता हूँ उसके तुरंत बाद, ठीक रहेगा?
हाँ ठीक रहेगा, कर सकते।
ओके, धन्यवाद। हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna. Yes, any other question?